guys, this is Lindsay with Garage Gym Reviews. If I seem out of breath, I am, and that's because I just kicked Nathan's ass at our dip competition on the rings. Okay, we're both terrible. I got 4, he got 3.5. Okay, but we are actually at my garage today. So here we are, guys, in all of its glory. I train here, I squat here, I live here, I love here, I laugh here. If you want to see more videos like this, or you like learning about fitness equipment, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Also, we're going to talk about a couple products here today. If you want to purchase any of them, we'll place a link below the like button. When you use that link to purchase, it doesn't cost you anything extra, but it does give us a small commission. And this isn't necessarily a review, but I'm always honest about the products I review, and some of them were sent to us by the company, and then I quickly took them home for myself so that I could use them. All right, so let's get into what I have. So first I want to start off with what I had prior to working at GGR, which was basically nothing. I do still work out at a CrossFit gym. It's not technically an affiliate CrossFit gym, but I work out there sometimes. I work out here, and when I was here, I wanted to have some stuff available. So for instance, we got a huge ice storm a couple years ago. I wasn't able to get out the gym because I live at the bottom of a 500-foot hill driveway. And I was iced in, I had nothing, so we quickly scrounged together some things. I actually had an old squat rack that we found in my in-laws' barn that was my brother-in-law's from when he was a teenager and trying to bulk. Spoiler alert, I'm fitter than him, so the bulking never happened for him, but that is another story. Anyways, it was so janky. We'll probably have a video clip we can put into it, but we had that, and then we also had these dumbbells that we had scrounged together from Facebook Marketplace. I mean, you can tell these are the cream of the crop dumbbells. And then also Gold Gym dumbbell rack, which again found, I don't know, Craigslist, Facebook Marketplace. And then, some odds and ends. We had a couple kettlebells, a couple bands, but it was really nothing. So when I started working at GGR, what was the first piece of equipment I took home? Well, I took home the Bells of Steel Hydra Rack. I'm obsessed with this thing. We've had it out here for probably 1.5 years now. I use it all the time. My husband uses it. My son uses it. My girls have recently decided that over this summer, they also want to use it. So they're using the earthquake bar on the rack, which is really cute. But this has been really good, really easy. It came with a couple different attachments. I like the rollers more than anything else. I find them super useful. It also comes with a lat pull down and then a low row on this rack. So super versatile. I like it a lot. And then we have just these iron plates. So we also got these when we got our squat rack originally, not this one, the previous one. And we went to a secondhand sale type gym place. This logoing is hilarious to me. It's called Biggins and it looks like boobs, but I think it's supposed to be owls. I
don't think it is.
I'm not sure, but they were cheap and they've lasted us. So listen, you don't have to have the best of the best gym equipment. You can always find deals and then have booby weight plates if you want. Speaking of, there is a tree on my property, and when we were putting in our driveway, we had to chop off 2 branches, and every time I drove by it, I was like, that's a boob tree. And so for an anniversary one year, my husband got us this boob tree lane. We were gonna hang it on the tree, but I decided the gym was a better place. So because this is a female gym, okay? We like female empowerment here. So there we go. Also, another little fun thing that we do is if you come to our house, we'll generally have you establish a 1 rep max on bench press. So that is so far the leaderboard. I have to actually update mine because my son just beat me. He just added plates. He's so psyched. 14 years old, benched 135. So now I have to kick his ass. DPR, if there is a notation of DPR, that is a drunk PR. We like to have fun. Okay, so the second thing that I brought home from GGR was, I couldn't call myself a conditioning enthusiast if I didn't have a treadmill, right? So this is the Soul F63. I do have a full video review on this. This is nothing fancy, okay? This is a $1,200 treadmill. It has no real programming. It has a couple programs you can use fat burner, interval, hill, but ultimately this is a basic treadmill. And guys, don't sleep on this. I actually really like this treadmill. It's held up really well. I've had it for about 1.5 years in my garage. We've had no issues. I use it probably 3 times a week. My husband uses it. So overall, I mean, this has been like a really good treadmill for us. And if you're looking for a budget-friendly treadmill, like hands down, this is probably one of my favorites. Okay, behind here, here's some little odds and ends I'll bring out for you. So obviously, we have to have the slant board guy. If you are doing any sort of knees over toes training, if you follow Slant Board Guy, if you follow Squat University, they're always talking about like getting a slant board, doing a lot of exercises like that. So we have this. I use it quite frequently. I do a lot of goblet squats on this, and my knees have never been healthier, like honestly. So really like this guy. Okay, so then let's talk about the flooring a little bit. These are just horse stall mats that we got from like a local Tractor Supply farm store. They were really inexpensive, really cheap. You can also probably find them on Facebook Marketplace. And then recently we had some leftover flooring from the warehouse that I went ahead, took home a roll, and then laid down this flooring, which I think is really pretty. I really like it. I don't care if it doesn't match. I think it, you know, is a little quirky, and that's how I feel about me. So I think it matches perfectly. Okay. So another thing that we added in, and this was not from GGR, but rings. We just got them off of Amazon, but we use these all the time, trying to get better at ring dips on them. They humble me so fast, but the kids like playing with them. I like using them. There's a lot of variation of exercises you could do with them. And then the one thing I like about these, and I'll find the link for them, but is that they have numbers. So one thing I hate about rings at gyms is they don't have numbers. And so you never know like if they're perfectly aligned, but because these have numbers, you can like get it exactly to where you want it to be. So they're exactly even. And I really like that. All right, so next let's go to barbells. So we are just talking about the girl barbells that I have here, the 15 kilogram, because this says after all Boob Tree Lane Garage. And the first barbell that I got was from Fringe. It's the W2 Olympic lifting bar. I have zero complaints about it. It's lasted me a very long time. It has a pretty passive knurling on it, and I got the bushings. They have bushings or bearings that you can choose from. This is a bushing bar. And overall, I'm really happy with it. It hasn't rusted too bad, and I brought it outside. I brought it inside. We've had ice storms, like you name it. It's held up really well, and it also still has like a pretty decent spin on it. So if you are Olympic lifting, it's pretty decent, especially given the cost point. I think it's under $300. And then the second bar I have here is from Bells of Steel. Now, I like Bells of Steel. There's a lot of products that I have from Bells of Steel. I generally like them. This bar is their women's 15 kilogram bar. However, look at this. It's already like rested on. I know that I can clean this off, but I really haven't had this bar for that long, probably under a year. So the fact that it's already starting to show like signs of wear and tear just like isn't great for me. But I'm still gonna use it. It's still my garage gym. I still use it all the time. So, okay, talking a little bit more about bars. Here are some specialty bars that we have. I actually got this one from Nathan. He was getting rid of it. Nathan, do you want to tell me about this one? This is a Rep multi-grip bar. I don't use it as much. My husband uses it more, but he really likes it. And I like a lot of products by Rep, so I'm a big fan. Also then, of course, we have Earthquake bar, which I love training with an Earthquake bar. And then also like the girls are able to use it. I have 3 smaller girls and they'll squat on it. We all actually put like little 2-pound weights on the side, and they'll do strict press, and they just feel like super cool when they're out here with mom lifting weights. And then we also have this Bells of Steel Easy Curl Bar. It says 15 kilograms on the end cap. That's absolutely incorrect. I think it's 20 pounds total. We looked on their website, but I use this a lot for bicep curls, different things. And then actually my son uses it probably more than I do. And then last bar I have out here is this safety squat bar by Titan Fitness. I actually don't use this a ton, but my husband does when he squats. So overall, I mean, we have a pretty wide selection of bars, but I would say most frequently, I'm using the Fringe W2 women's bar. I do a lot of squatting. I don't know, I think it's just because I'm used to using the women's bar. I'm just used to lifting with an Olympic bar. And so I just honestly haven't given this a good try. Let me know in the comments if I'm missing out on something, if I should be giving this a try. I don't know. It's what I'm used to. Oh, last bar. This is my favorite bar, okay? Also Bells of Steel. This is their open trap bar. This is 80 pounds. I use this thing all the time. Deadlifting is probably my favorite, and then trap bar deadlifting is like just the best. Like, I don't care what anybody else says. I think it's the best lift. Super fun. And especially if you're new to deadlifting, I'm like, man, deadlift with a trap bar just puts you into such a better position. So this is probably my favorite bar out here in terms of like specialty bars. Okay, over here we have some Olympic lifting plates, some bumper plates. Some of them are from Bells of Steel, and then some of them are from Fringe. And they've lasted a really long time. For a good chunk of time, I was really into Olympic weightlifting. And so I dropped these bumper plates quite frequently onto our garage gym floor. And there's never been any cracks. They've held up beautifully. We've had them for like a year and a half, and I'm really happy with these. Okay, but one of my favorite things out here right now is this Rep FT 5000. I was like begging to take this home. Whenever Coop ended up redoing his garage gym, I was like, okay guys, that's mine. I call this. I just really liked using it, and I'm so glad I brought it home. I didn't bring it home. My husband did. Did he almost kill himself in the process because I was zero help? Yes, but we are both alive, and here she lays. I do a lot of movements on this. My son really likes it too, and so overall, I mean, you do all the things. I would say most of the time that I use it is for upper body. I don't do a lot of lower body stuff on this, so I'm doing stuff like lat pull downs or face pulls, or ab cable crunches, or lateral shoulder raises, which are literally from hell. If you know, you know. Those do not get any easier, and they humble me so fast. So overall, I primarily stick to like upper body lifts on this, but for sure you could do lower body lifts on it too. Listen, we don't need to worry about this side of the garage, okay? Just Nathan, back over here. Okay, Snows. These are my favorite adjustable dumbbell. I know that Coop probably has a different opinion, but also Coop has said Snows are probably some of the top tier adjustable dumbbells. I've used them from, the beginning essentially, and I like them. The adjustability system is so easy on it. You just basically like click this, and it goes from 10 to 80 pounds. It has a nice knurling. It's a little passive, but pretty good for a dumbbell. My only complaint about it, and this is Coop's call out too, is that it's in 10-pound increments. So if you are somebody who's wanting 5-pound increments, obviously you're not able to do that. But in terms of the system on how it's adjusted, I think that it's probably top. Another thing that I really like having out here is this Zebix multi-purpose sled. So I actually train a couple people out here at my house on my garage on Saturdays, and most of them don't want to squat. They're looking for mobility. They're just looking to feel fit. So we do a lot of sled pushes on my driveway. I have a really long driveway, and it's perfect. I'll load up the weight on it. I mean, it does come with resistance. I think the resistance is honestly kind of garbage. Like, it's not that much. Just load up the plates on this. I think that that's so much better. And then this is just battery powered, and the screen isn't anything great, but it definitely gets the job done. You can also attach a rope to this side if you want to, but overall, I mean, this isn't the most expensive sled option out there, but I do think it's actually a really good sled. Okay, so my favorite Plyo box. Like I said, I have done a lot of CrossFit in the past. I'm not so much doing CrossFit right now, but I still use this Plyo box a lot in my gym. So for step-ups, or I'll just use it for my lat pull-downs instead of dragging over a bench. I mean, there's like so many ways you can use a Plyo box. But if you are doing plyometric training, the Rep Fitness Soft Plyo box is where it's at, okay? Like, if you've done any sort of jump overs, you know that there's like a fear of hitting your shins and then just bleeding out, and then somebody finding you on your garage gym floor because you've bled out of your shins, and that's it. Like, you're dead. Okay, so you have your 20-inch, your 24-inch, and then your 30-inch, depending on which way you have it aligned. Overall, it's like pretty soft, but it's sturdy, which is what I like. When we compare it to different Plyo boxes, like there are some that are just a Plyo box, right? Where they get their name, but there's no real cushioning or any sort of like comfort feature. And then there are some that are actually really, really soft, and I just don't trust them as much for things like step-ups or even like box jump overs. So the fact that this has like an inner Plyo box, and then you can see right here, it's got this like nice padding right here, and then this vinyl covering. I just think it's the best. Again, like I think Rep Fitness is killing it right now, and I think that this Plyo box is a perfect example of that. Okay, 2 more things in my gym. My husband almost killed me when I asked him to bring this one home, but I really wanted a GHD machine, and this one is from Bells of Steel. You can also do reverse hypers on it, which I think is something that is overlooked in a lot of training areas. I mean, they're so good for your posterior chain, your back, your legs, your glutes, whatever. Is this the most comfortable GHD machine? No. I think the one by Rogue is better. However, this gets the job done. It's super easy to adjust. It's super smooth. And overall, I do use it probably about once a week. So I am glad I brought it home, even though it does take up a big amount of space. Okay, so the newest addition, and if you know me at all, you know I love rowing. I'm a Concept 2 girly, but I really wanted to give this Vulcan rower a try. We, again, do have a full video review on the Vulcan rower, and I liked it enough to bring it home. I would say the pull, if you are used to the Concept 2, the pull on this is different. Typically when I'm using the Concept 2, I have the damper set between like a 6 and a 5. But that feels just so intense on this Vulcan row. I actually have my damper set on like a 4, and that feels a little bit more comparable to what I'm used to rowing on the Concept 2. But overall, this is a little heavier than the Concept 2, but super comfortable. I don't like the screen as much, but like it is still a really good rower. There's still a lot of value that I get out of it. Me personally, if I'm going to choose this or the Concept 2, I'd bring home the Concept 2, but this is what we had at the gym, and I kind of really just wanted to have a little bit more time using it and maybe update my review later on and just kind of give extra thoughts on it as I've used it more. Okay, so last thing I want to mention is this bench. It's also by Rep. There wasn't a whole lot of thought process for me into why I wanted this bench. I basically just wanted like a wider padding, which this does have, as well as some adjustability to do like incline. Now this doesn't do decline, which is fine. I don't do a lot of decline work. All I needed it for was like bench or incline, and it's super easy to move and super easy to move around. And so that was kind of my reasoning and why I chose this for my gym. Nathan just asked, what would I want in here that I don't have? Honestly, it's not even a piece of gym equipment. I feel like I'm pretty set. What I actually want is a cold tub. I would actually love to have this Sun Home Cold Plunge Pro. That thing, like, I just like being challenged is basically what it is. This goes down to 33 degrees. The highest temperature it raises to is around 47 degrees. So overall, like, I really like cold tubbing. We have the ice barrel here, not my favorite. I'd like to do something that's a little bit better. My husband also likes cold tubbing. And so I think that one, that looks like really sick. I love the way that it actually creates ice. It gets super cold. And then out of like all my research I've done comparing that to other purification systems and then the cost points, I just think that overall, that's probably one of the best cold tubs that you can get out there right now. So yeah, I'd probably add that in. And then, you know, if the Plunge wanted to send me their new sauna, like, I'll find room, okay? Like, I'm not gonna say no to that. Okay, but if there is a piece of gym equipment that I am missing that you think would be valuable to me in my setup, in my training, what I like to do, please let us know below in the comments. And if there are any questions that you have about any of the products that I have talked about or mentioned, again, let me know. I love answering questions. Thank you guys. Now get out of here. Get out of here. This is my house. Go, get. Peace.